Ever had another woman say something that left you, speechless? Subtle jabs, backhanded compliments, and outright mean comments can catch anybody off guard. In this video, I am breaking down the 18 most common mean things that women say to each other, why they say them, and most importantly, how to respond with both confidence and class. Don't let negative Nellies shake your confidence. You were meant to fly. Okay, ladies, let's do this. Ladies, I am confident that each and every one of you watching this video have been the brunt of at least one of these mean-spirited comments. They can be really hurtful. Let's be honest, ladies. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for a minute and say that I have gotten very, very good at balancing putting somebody in their place when needed and doing it with dignity. Being classy doesn't mean being a doormat. Number one, oh, is that what you're wearing? The underlying motive with comments like this is to undermine your confidence, often just out of jealousy or insecurity within themselves. Think about it. If you were picking up a friend for an event, would you ever say, oh, is that what you're wearing? You wouldn't, because we all know how it sounds. A few ways to respond, and always do what feels best to you. I'm most likely to respond this way. Oh, is that what you're wearing? Yep. Shuts it down with a single word. And then of course there's my favorite go-to for almost any kind of not nice question. Why do you ask? This redirects the spotlight to them, putting them in the situation of having to defend what you both know was a jab. Number two, have you gained/lost weight? You look great. We're talking the ever popular backhanded compliment. Couched as a fake compliment, it's really just meant to criticize. It says, you look great, yet it immediately implies that you used to not look great. You can respond a number of ways. One of my favorites is this. Is there a reason that you feel the need to comment on my body? Again, it reflects scrutiny away from you and back to them. Is it uncomfortable? Maybe a little bit, but you know what? Maybe next time she'll think twice about asking a question like that. In my experience, people continue saying things like this to you when they know that they can be left unchallenged. The second you challenge them on it, and of course this is a classy way to do it, chances are it's gonna stop. Number three, I would never wear that. As visibility for our community grows, ladies, we hit 200,000 just a couple weeks ago, but along with that comes a much higher level of scrutiny by people who just pass by. So I've personally experienced this comment in a variety of formats, from I would never wear that to those nude shoes look horrible with that black dress, and a variety of other ways. The underlying motive is always an attempt for the person to feel superior, better about themselves, when in reality, let's be honest, they just feel a sense of insecurity. Think about it. Everybody, myself included, have undoubtedly looked at another woman's outfit at one point in their life and thought, ooh, yeah, I definitely wouldn't wear that. But we would never actually say it to the person because it is rude. Thinking something and then actually taking the step to verbalize it, or in my case, write it out and post it, is a whole different level of, maybe not. The women who always take it to the next level of verbalizing it to you always feel a sense of discomfort or jealousy, so they try to make you feel worse about yourself so that they feel better. 2 suggested ways to respond, and again, do what feels comfortable to you. Number 1, well, to each her own. We all have different styles. This keeps it cool without getting defensive. Number 2, I would never wear that. You don't have to. Number 4, no offense, but, followed by something offensive. I actually find this one really funny because the person is literally signaling to you that they know they are about to say something offensive. Whether it's no offense but, or I don't mean to be rude but. They say it to be insulting while fake pretending that they're being polite, when we all really know what's going on. 2 suggested ways to respond. I recently had a woman start her sentence by saying to me, I don't mean to be judgmental, to which I quickly interjected, which means you're about to be. I said it with a smile, lighthearted, in a joking but not really joking kind of way. So the point was made and she quickly changed the subject. Number 2, if the remark is particularly offensive, I don't mean to be offensive, but that dress really doesn't look good on you. You're right, that is offensive. I tend to err to number 1 because it makes the point with a little bit of lightness. Number 5, you're so dramatic. This is said to invalidate your feelings and somehow make you feel like you're overreacting to something. To respond, you might try something like this. I might express myself a little differently than you, but my feelings are just as valid. This asserts your emotional autonomy, yet it still keeps it civil. Number 6, Must be nice to have everything handed to you. More often than not, a comment like this is jealousy or resentment about a perceived privilege that they feel you have that they don't have. The funny thing is that the vast majority of the time, people are looking at a snapshot of a time in your life without a clue as to the struggles you've had or the road that you've traveled in order to get to where you are. 2 ways you can consider responding to this. Must be nice to have everything handed to you. It's funny how success can look effortless from the outside, right? This highlights the fact that they're making assumptions without basis, without having to defend yourself, which you shouldn't have to do. Number 2, my favorite, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Quick and to the point, it also highlights that you've worked for what you have. It wasn't handed to you on a silver platter. Number 7, well, you're lucky that you're pretty, or you're thin, or you're rich, etc., etc. This is said to diminish your intelligence and the other numerous qualities that you have that makes you the amazing woman that you are. It insinuates that the sole reason you have good luck or a nice life or are experiencing success is solely because you happen to be born with an attribute that you didn't work for. 2 simple ways to respond. Just suggestions, ladies. I appreciate the compliment, but fortunately, there's a lot more to me than that. This turns it into a power statement. I like that. Number 2, luck has nothing to do with it. Like most people, I have to work at it. Again, it takes back your power and it makes it clear that whatever it is you have is solely the result of the work that you have put into it. Number 8, are you sure you can handle that? This is said to plant doubt and insecurity over your abilities, needlessly. The best response is one that is confident yet clearly sets boundaries. Are you sure you can handle that? I'm positive, but if I need advice, I'll ask. Short, to the point, ends the conversation in no uncertain terms. Number 9, this one is a bit more aggressive. I could never be friends with someone like you. Or, we could never be friends. This one takes some real chutzpah to say, but listen, it happens. This is said to make you feel excluded and somehow unworthy. An easy way to shut it down while still keeping your self-respect, which is what we always want to do. You're assuming I care. Said with a smile. It's certainly a bit more aggressive, but candidly, the original comment is so out of bounds that it deserves a direct and clear response. Ugh, you're so lucky, I hate you. Who among us hasn't heard this one and thought, okay? As is obvious, it's meant to be fake playfulness, but it masks what clearly looks like jealousy. Saying I hate you is never okay. Even when it's said supposedly in jest, it's always like, yeah, you went there. The best response is one that disarms the passive aggressiveness. You're so lucky, I hate you. I'm sure you don't hate me, do you? It's disarming and it makes the person reflect on what they just said. Number 2, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If something good happened to you, I would be happy for you. Number 11, wow, it must be so nice to have so much time to yourself. I hear this on occasion from some, emphasis ladies on some, not all, women who have kids who then learn that we don't have any. Like you, I can tell the difference between a snide, must be nice, to someone that's just sort of living vicariously like, oh, it must be so nice to have all that time to yourself. When it's clearly meant to be a jab, the intention in part is to belittle how you spend your time, the choices that you made in life, and infer that on some level your choices are selfish. Here are 2 ways to respond. It is, I made conscious choices along the way that would allow a lifestyle that worked best for me. Number 2 is my personal response and my favorite, which is just very simple. It is, we love it. Life is all about choices, and I have chosen to stop feeling guilty for the benefits that some of the choices I've made in life have provided. Hard stop. You are never going to find somebody if you keep acting like that. What single woman hasn't heard some rendition of this one? Can I get a witness? This is said as a means to control or shame your behavior or who you are. And honestly, this one is such a self-righteous comment. I find it particularly annoying. Here is the best response. If being myself means I stay single for the rest of my life, I'm all in. Number 13, your life seems so perfect. What's the real story? I've never taken this one as an insult, but really more one born out of curiosity. Remember, ladies, some people are just really awkward in the way they ask a question. So listen to your gut. You know if it's something that's meant to be a jab or just a really poorly crafted question and they really just want to know. Many times people think that if you're happy or you look happy, there's gotta be more to the story. Something juicy or nefarious going on that they don't know about. And for good reason. How many times have we seen celebrities in the, just celebrities that seem like really happy and fun and a great couple, and the next thing you know, they're getting divorced. So I get where the jadedness comes from. Look, here's the deal. No one's life is perfect, but there are times in life where everything really is perfect. You know, times when your life is really operating on all cylinders. That's just how it is. My response to this type of question is to deflect. Number one, what do you mean by real story? Or why do you ask? It puts the spotlight back on them to clarify. And for me, if somebody really wants to know more about a particular side of my life, and it's clear to me that they are just interested and want to know, I will happily share. I don't have an issue with that. Number 14, I really think you could do so much better. This is whether it's about a partner, your job, etc. This can be said to subtly doubt or insert criticism into your choices. Well, sometimes a friend can certainly say this in a well-intentioned way and mean it to boost your self-confidence with good intentions. If you sense that isn't the case, you can just say this: thanks for your opinion, but I'm completely happy with my choices. Clean, concise, and it shuts down further commentary. Number 15, I'm just kidding. Chill out. Who among us hasn't been on the brunt end of mean-spirited jokes or comments said in a fun, joking way, but they're clearly meant to hurt and jab at you? If it's over the line or it's just happened one too many times, as it did with me a few times in my life, the best response is one that asserts your boundaries and calls it out for exactly what it is: meant to be hurtful. It's just a joke. Chill out. Jokes are meant to be funny, not hurtful. Then say nothing more. Silence, ladies, is extremely powerful when used judiciously. Doing it this way leaves the sting of the spotlight solely focused on the perpetrator. Number 16, must be nice to have money. Would you ever say this to somebody? It's so weird. This is somebody's passive-aggressive way of making you feel guilty or self-conscious about something you have the ability to do, or your lifestyle in general. 3 simple ways to consider responding, ladies. Number 1, must be nice to have money. How so? This is a deflection and makes them think about what they just asked you. Number 2, it wasn't always like this, but yes, it's nice and I'm grateful. Number 3, I remember having to choose between groceries and gas at one point in my life, so yes, it's nice. Number 17, you wouldn't understand. You're not a mom, or you're not in a relationship, or etc. This one, ladies, is so flipping self-righteous, I can't even tell you. Like, if you don't have kids, or if you're not married, or insert whatever it is in your life, you therefore lack the mental capacity or the compassion to understand a situation or to put yourself in another person's shoes. This is usually said specifically when somebody tends to disagree with your opinion. It's meant to exclude or diminish your perspective. 2 response options to maintain your inclusivity. Number 1, you're right, we don't have kids, but that doesn't preclude me from understanding a situation or from exercising judgment. Number 2, we have different experiences and certainly different lives, but that doesn't diminish my perspective any more than it increases the value of yours. Number 18, everybody's talking about it, or you know no one likes you. When I was 23 years old, I was new to San Diego and brand new to this particular aerobic studio. I had a really mean lady lean over to me and say, you know, nobody likes you. So everybody was apparently mad because I was always standing in someone's spot. As you know, it's in a class, it's first come, first serve. Nobody owns a spot. You just walk in and stand where you want to stand. But apparently I was standing in, the queen bee's spot. My quick response, and mind you, this was, I think I was 22 years old. And I said, you're assuming I care. I know. She was shocked. I had had enough. Comments like everybody's talking about it or nobody likes you are said specifically to pressure or manipulate you, assuming that the social pressure is going to make you cave or control your behavior, or of course just make you feel bad. 2 easy response options to consider. You're assuming I care. Short, sweet, bold enough to shut it down. Number 2, if they have something to say, they can say it to me directly. And ladies, if you've got toxic people in your life, you're not going to want to miss my next video. How to break up with toxic friends. Have a great week, ladies, and I'll see you in a couple. Take care.